evening, we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paolo De Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez. Now, watch the game live on the Pilipinas Live app for just 99 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play and the App Store.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Well, we've highlighted the stars and standouts in the PBL Invitational Conference, but now it is time to get to know the athletes who have been game changers for their teams. Now, joining us now to talk about spark plugs in the heart of volleyball is analyst Ayel Estrañero. Ayel, when we talk about spark plugs...
Good evening.
Good evening. When we talk about spark plugs, like you are in general, every time you're on this show, giving us so much energy, what do you look at a player coming off the bench in terms of the impact that they make and help give you a rubric into choosing these players?
So these players that I choose, they're usually coming off the bench. They're not in the usual starters, not even the usual rotation of double sub. And these are the players who creates like instant contribution, nagpo-point agad, like if hindi nakakapuntos, you feel their energy right away. They radiate that positive energy inside the court.
And some of them are not even regularly coming off the bench, right? These are okay. So let's start with first a team that still has a chance to make the finals of the Invitationals PLDT, and you chose Fiola Ceballos.
Oh, Fiola Ceballos, she's one of the players who can come off the bench but can also be a starter.
Yeah.
She's
which she did.
Exactly,
right?
their last game against Kinbak Bakni, which she was the player of the game.
Yeah.
She's a power hitter, kaya niyang basagin yung block, but she's also a player with a lot of variety in terms of attacks because her experience in beach volley allows her to have that good ball control. So she's not just effective offensively, but defensively she's quick, she's fast, and she's very steady on reception. So she's also a good support to Kat Arado.
And let's not forget, it's very crucial because they did lose one of their starters.
Jovi Prado.
And Jovi Prado.
Right now, Fiola Ceballos stepping up as a starter.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, some people might be wondering what's the key for more minutes, but then you take a look at the impact that she's made here in particular. What do you think what made you pick her? Is there any performance in particular that stood out this conference?
I think generally every time she's put in, sometimes she plays as a service specialist and she delivers that service ace right away. It's really that instant impact, that instant contribution. But right now in PBL, it's just so hard to say who'll be the starter, who won't be a starter, because everyone's just so good.
Yeah, and the schedule too,
exactly.
diba?
So you would want to actually have those kinds of player off the bench or in the bench who can also be a starter, can play anytime, can deliver the points anytime.
That's right. And because of the way the schedule has affected our teams, talagang nagbabalasa ang mga coaches in terms of the starters. Okay, let's move on to Signal, a team that had some great momentum.
Yeah, they had their moments for sure.
Yes, and then they fizzled out in the last couple of games. But you wanted to talk about somebody who they brought in this conference.
Now, I said earlier na the one I chose were not usually from the rotation, but I just really have to add Jelay Nunag because she's a great addition. With her in the rotation, the floor defense and the reception is more stable, and she's an added confidence. By that I mean they can really heavily rely on her in that floor defense and that reception, and they need that good first ball because they have a lot of offensive options in Molina, Dakis, Meneses, Doria, and that just allows Jel Cayuna to set them up offensively, strategically better.
You actually picked two from Signal here, and that makes me think like, wow, lalim nila. But you also picked Troncoso.
Yeah.
What about her?
Well, Chai Troncoso, she's like Fiola Ceballos. She can be an impact player off the bench, but she can also be a starter. She's a lethal server, she's a good server, but she's also a player who can play different positions. You know, she's already played as an opposite, a middle attacker, and outside hitter in her stay with Signal so far. So she's fast, she can be in different combination plays. So yeah, she can be an impact player off the bench, but also a starter. And in their game, last game against Ablaze, she was one of the impact players when she started in the third set.
And I know you keep talking about her even before. You're a big fan, obviously, of Chai. But just to quickly close our conversation, that why are we not seeing her much more. Is it because of the Jove Gonzaga thing?
I believe so. And for the Signal HD spikers, it's just good for them. It's a luxury for them to actually have Chai Troncoso off the bench. You have
Vanny
Basas,
Gambler.
So malalim nga sila.
So malalim talaga yung bench nila, but they have veterans as a starter. That's why they're such a good team this conference.
You know, one player that every time she enters the court, the smile is almost iconic right now. I just think about her name, I see the smile. Risa Sato of Creamline. She brings more than just good vibes to the court.
But I think that's the most evident thing about her. It's really that she radiates that positive energy.
Right.
Because you know, like Creamline, sometimes they play so serious. But you know, when Risa Sato is in, it's all about being happy. But for Risa Sato, again, she's a lethal server. She's as a middle, you have to have the qualities of being quick, fast in transition. You have to be also fast in reading the offense of your opponent, and those are really great qualities of Risa Sato. So it's not, you know, you don't have to think twice to put her as a game changer for the Creamline Coast Smashers.
Yeah, often we get distracted by her dancing and her smiling and her laughing, but her game is also great. And I like that you said that because for Creamline, the middles are so important. Probably they're the team who uses their middles the most. Am I right to say that?
Exactly. And then that's also because Gia Morado de Guzman just has really good connections with them. And the reason why also their outside hitters are always so good with one blocker in front of them because their middles are so effective. So you have to give half of the credit to the middle attackers for always being so convincing in that approach.
You know, another one that we have to pick out here, and the last one on your list is someone from F2 who is already notoriously deep and stacked team, Shola Alvarez.
Oh, Shola Alvarez. I chose her because her role is difficult for me. She's a service specialist, and at most times she's put in the most crucial parts of the game. She can make or break a set or a match. So, so far she's been showing a lot of mental toughness in that service line. She's getting the aces, but whenever she's needed in the front row to be an outside hitter, she also delivers that point. She's smart. She's not all about power, but her placements are always perfect.
And that game against Creamline and the game against Petrogas, her and Aragalang made major impact off the bench at the most crucial time. Yung set 4 against Creamline was big. Yeah, so these are great choices, and there's still some games to be played, so we're going to look out for these names. Ayel, thank you very much for being with us tonight. And of course, here's a look at the PVL Semis games happening tomorrow. That's July 27 at the Phil Sports Arena at 4 p.m. The PLDT high-speed hitters will face Kurashiki Blaze, and at 6:30 p.m., Kinbak Bakni battles the Signal HD Spikers. In the meantime, after the break, we'll list down the top bucket getters from the guard position in the ongoing PBA On Tour. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. And welcome back to the game. With the PBA On Tour winding down, it's time to take a look at some of the top scoring guards in the league. And since this is a topic very close to the heart and a personal favorite of our resident sports tito, Mikey Reyes, he joins us tonight to list down his picks. But before we get to the picks,
Finally, nakakuha din ako sa topic na mag-enjoy tayo.
Yeah.
Puro
Oo.
depensa at saka pase. Dito tayo magkwentuhan.
tayo sa specialty
Oo,
of the
dito
house.
tayo magkwentuhan.
Baluarte mo. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng points guard? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng scoring guard? Pero yung points guard in particular.
Points. That is the goal.
Bakit ba gusto mo yan?
No, I feel like a points guard is someone that is aggressive. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean shoot first, even though that's the moniker. It's really just being aggressive and trying to create first. And sometimes, when the shot is there, why not take it? Kaya nga nagpa-practice ng shooting, di ba?
Kahit
So, ito
nga,
yung mga ano.
sa'yo nga, even if the
Oh,
shot is
kahit
not
if it's
there.
not there, you look for it.
Yung create. Sa listahan nga natin, yung ibang player dito, hindi na mention yung mga
Mga in
assist stats
denial
nila
pa
eh.
to,
Oo.
mga in denial. Eh, ganun ka aminin nila.
Ganun ba? Ganun
Pero
ba?
mga in denial dito.
Ito, hindi ako sigurado kung in denial to,
Ay, hindi
pero
in denial yan.
una sa listahan, Diego Dario, friend of the show, 9.3 points per game, nag-career high ng
Nag-career
22
high pa.
against Magnolia, and you mentioned him as a points guard.
Oh, well, if you watch Diego's social media, that's all he does. He practices his shooting. So why not, di ba? Why not try to, score some points? Especially Aaron had a couple of games na wala siya. Chris hasn't been there, obviously, in preparation for Gilas. So, the space is clear for him. Minutes are there for Diego. Si Anjo din had a couple of games that he wasn't there. So every time I see him, sinasabi sa kanya, wala kang kalaban sa posisyon. Kung di ka pa titira, paano pa, di ba? And that's the best thing that he can provide for Meralco is to space the floor.
Ano sinasagot niya?
Wala naman na talaga tayo pinapractice, kundi yun. Wala naman tayo pa mabibigay, kundi yun, di ba? So, I like how Diego's been playing. He's been aggressive and he's been trying to look for his shot.
Right. Okay, let's, lagi na lang na pag-uusapan dito si Diego. Yan ang mahirap pag wala. Hindi na dumadaan dito eh. Puro points kasi sinasikaso eh.
Shooting too much eh. Ang magagawa natin.
Let's go to your choice from Blackwater. You wanted to talk about RK Ilagan.
Yeah, one of my favorite points guards since he was in college. I covered him when he was with San Sebastian. And I knew that he could just really shoot the lights out. Even though he's one of the smaller guards in the league, if you have a shot from the outside, if you can pull up, if you have a mid-range game, then you can be effective. He was effective with Coach Jeffrey Carriazo when he was with Alaska. With Coach Aldin, medyo nabawasan because Aljon Melesio came aboard. So when Coach Jeff came back with Blackwater and RK was there, I pretty much knew na medyo alam na ni Coach Jeffrey kung paano siya gagamitin.
Iba yung tapang ni RK Ilagan.
Iba, yung tapang. May mga game winners yan with Coach Jeffrey dun sa Alaska conferences niya. So I knew that there was something in him that Coach Jeff trusted.
Yeah, and we'll see whether or not tutuloy yun sa upcoming conference. And of course, another player that has to be mentioned, another relatively small guard, pero this is the first double-digit scorer we're gonna talk about, at least per game. Si Paul Zamar ng Northport, 15.2 points per game.
Paul.
Yeah, for sure. Even when he was with UE, a lot of seasons in the D-League, he went around and then he found himself back, and he was with San Miguel for so long, winning championships, but it was his time when he was traded to Northport. Now without Berto, without Roy Sumang, the minutes are open for that point guard spot. It's him and Fran New sharing that scoring load or that point guard role. But, we're not sure if Fran New will be picked by Northport when the draft comes. Diba? They committed na pag umabot sa kanila, they'll pick him, but we'll see. So now it's really just Paul Zamar running that point guard spot.
What makes him effective as a points guard?
What's
his skill set? Outside shot
It's not the fastest. He
Yes.
doesn't have a quick trigger,
Correct.
but his IQ, he knows. Ang lamang ng mga maliliit na scorer, they were never tall.
Right.
So basically, all your life, you had to find a way to score. So it doesn't really change. Unlike kung matangkad ka nung high school or nung college, and then you get to the post, medyo lilit ka. Ito mga sanay na ito mga to. So their skill set is really for small scoring guards.
Ito, this guy here, a bit taller, a bit
bit
longer yung susunod, si Tyler Tio ng Phoenix. Again, another friend of the show. Grabe yung mga host talaga dito. Mga points, mga shooters talaga.
We show them love.
Yeah, we show them love. 10.8 points per game, 15 in the last one against TNT.
Wow. Well, with Tyler Tio, before entering Ateneo, where he was forced to be a facilitator.
That's a good point that you're about to make.
Na medyo iniikot niya yung bola in that
Correct.
coach tab system. Come
Correct.
on, the Xavier, he was scoring 60, 50.
Correct.
Even
Nakalimutan ko yun.
Even when he was in grade school, especially with Xavier, kasi laging merong sino yung iisa na alam mong tutuloy-tuloy in that batch. From Jeron to Jeric, from Jeric to Jeron, Jet Manuel, Kyle Slau. Tyler was the one in his batch who was really scoring at the 50s, 60s. So, pretty much we knew, pagpasok niya kay Coach Topex during that time, medyo bibigyan siya ng freedom. And now with Coach Jamaica, it's the same thing. He's gotten his confidence na as a scorer back compared to when he was with Ateneo, and he's been showing up.
Bumalik siya.
Bumalik siya dun sa role niya dati.
Savior, points guard.
Sa pagka-points guard.
The next guy, you've talked about him on the show. You've showed him
Yes.
love, JD Tungkab from TNT.
Yeah. With JD, because usually he doesn't play the point, obviously. He plays the two guard, but without Mikey and Jason in the lineup, and also without RR Pogo and the likes, he had to play point guard. So most of the PBA On Tour, he was their starting point guard actually with Coach Jojo. So I don't know if that's going to be his same position when the season comes.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be Mikey's and Jason's, but he's shown that he can be that, that big point guard. Not only can he score, but he can also defend, he can facilitate, but definitely he has that scoring punch that he used to have when he was with Adamson. I feel like when he was with Adamson, he was more of a scorer. When he was with UP, medyo naging defender.
You're right.
Had more responsibility.
Bumabalik sa dating laro niya.
Tama ka dyan. And here's one guy na linigay mo sa bonus category.
Yeah.
Even if amongst all the players we mentioned, he has the most points per game. Si Huami Chongson, si Magic Chongson ng Terra Firma.
Because I feel like he's the best points guard today.
Is he?
He's the best.
What makes
points
him the
guard.
best? What makes him the best?
With this guy also, I was obviously batchmates with him. Ano pa lang to, grade school pa lang to, CSA pa lang to. Like Tyler, he would score at the 60s, at the 50s. Kaya ako napalipat ng Lasal Green Hills was because he transferred to Ateneo High School. So napalipat ako because of Wami. So sinasabi nga niya he was always a two guard. But because of his height, he was forced to be a point guard. But, with Terra Firma, he needs to score. He's their number one option. So I feel like he's the best points guard. Not only his skill set, but his situation in his team. He is asked to score.
All right. 23 points a game. 37, he had a conference high. Talking about Magic.
Oh, with
Chongson.
all due respect
Chongson.
to the Jason Castros, obviously,
Right.
Alex Cabagno.
Right.
We're talking about the new age,
Correct. Kaya nga, PBA On Tour.
On tour tayo.
Including Gio Halalo.
Gio Halalo.
Last na gusto mo pag-usapan.
Hindi ko siya malagay at a points guard level or a category because he's an all-around
versatile
point guard. Para sa akin, sa PBA On Tour, kung si Wami ang best points guard, ito yung best point guard in the whole PBA On Tour. If there was an MVP, I'll give it to Gio Halalo. He's been the most consistent. They haven't lost a game with him running the point. They've missed Paulie a couple of games. They've missed Mark Barok. I don't think they missed Mark Barok a couple of games. But Ironman yan eh. Pero really, he plays as if it's, kahit saan mo maglaro si Gio, parang in season, kala mo finals lagi maglaro. So I'm gonna put Gio there, and yeah, he's been, for me, one of the best point guards in the league. Medyo na overshadow lang ng mga other big names, but definitely he's one of the best.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And of course, we're excited to see what they can do to, finish this off. If I'm not mistaken, one more game day, tapos may next conference after a lot of Gilas action. But of course, don't forget you can watch all of the games of the PBA On Tour live and on demand using the Pilipinas Live app for just 99 pesos a month. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Mikey, don't go away. You're still gonna be here.
Bonus!
May bonus round tayo.
Si Mikey may bonus lagi.
Of course, palagi. Mahal ng TF niyan eh. After the break, we'll hype up the biggest and most exciting basketball event of the year. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. Now, in less than a month, the biggest basketball event will be here in the Philippines. Now, joining us to give his thoughts on Gilas Pilipinas' return to the FIBA Basketball World Cup is basketball analyst Mikey Reyes. Mikey, we're talking about so many things because it is so close. Malapit na talaga ang FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Isang buwan na lang, no?
Oo. Excitement levels for you personally.
Parang alala ko, nag-host ako dito, pinag-uusapan namin 100 days before.
Correct.
There was a campaign that we had. But man, a month to go, and obviously I've been covering them sa frontline sa news every day halos, and it's getting exciting. They were talking about the deadline of hopefully the players that can be available talaga para medyo magkakulay na. Because as of now, yes, they've been preparing. They went to Europe and Lithuania and all that, but medyo drawing pa yung full roster. Medyo drawing pa yung roster na papadala natin, at least papadala sa Araneta. Pero like
Philippine Arena muna.
Philippine Arena. Pero like, you want to at least know already. Medyo kulayan mo na.
Lalo na as preparation time
Yes.
ramps up. What are your impressions dun sa mga, nabanggit mo Europe, pero umpisa natin yung SPP Invitational Games, and then your thoughts on Europe and what have you seen?
Yeah, I feel like they're getting better. They're getting better for sure. And when they came back from Europe, they were talking about it. And the biggest thing that they got out of that was obviously the camaraderie, the chemistry. Which again, with chemistry kasi, gumanda yung chemistry. Pero may papasok ulit eh. May mga papasok pa eh. No, we'll find out. But, they weren't really complete in Europe. But they got in shape. That's the most important thing. They got in shape, they got in game shape, condition, and they had a lot of tune-up games. So medyo si Coach Chot, medyo nagiging familiar na rin ulit dun sa players.
Alam mo, when you take a look at the goals of Gilas Pilipinas, a lot of people are saying like, okay, there's probably no realistic chance na mananalo tayo sa World Cup, but what we can win is a ticket to Paris in 2024. Knowing yung goal na yun and knowing that yung mga kapitbahay natin, mga Asian neighbors natin have been strengthening as well. Just how exciting does that race to that Asian ticket?
Well, I think
is.
that China game would be very important.
Yes.
I think yun nga yung parang magiging ticket
Crucial.
natin, di ba? Crucial. So it's gonna be tough. Obviously, you want to have our bigs present and healthy. And I also read today that Coach Tim was very happy with how Junmar played in Europe. I saw it in one of the podcasts. So with Junmar 100% healthy, then, obviously that's our top big man, at least in the Philippines. We'll find out about Kai. Pero aside from Kai, it's really Junmar that we need healthy.
And then of course there are reports that
JC.
Diba? JC, Kai, and pag natuloyan, yan yung mga sinasabi mong i-incorporate sa team, ano?
Oh, we'll see. It's still a big question if it's JC or if it's JB.
Right.
But, with how JB's been playing as well, even during the last tournament, we hope that it's JC. Actually, ang hirap magsalita kasi tayo magagalit.
So, everyone's preferences eh.
Buti na lang, hindi tayong pipili. Reports nga. And of course, yung back problem ni Kai, sana mag-heal.
But if they can be complete, then,
you never
iba
know.
pa din pag may NBA player ka doon.
Naman.
An NBA and a half player, di ba? Kasi si Kai medyo
Nag-appearance na sa Summer League. Iba rin yun.
Alright, and of course, on that note, don't miss out on the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 with Signal Pay-Per-View. Experience world-class basketball action at home with Signal's FIBA World Cup Pay-Per-View offer for only 650 pesos. Watch all games from start to finish, no commercial, and in high definition. Plus, get access to exclusive FIBA shows. So visit signal.tv for more details. And don't forget the FIBA World Cup pay-per-view is also available to satellite subscribers. Tito Mikey, thank you!
Thank you very much, guys.
We appreciate you.
Always fun.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
Catch weeknights here on One News, and we're live for just 99 pesos a month on the Pilipinas Live app, available for download on the Google Play or the Apple Store. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.